Greetings, fellow overpriced merchandise. Tiki here.
And Jacob Wile, too.
And welcome to the return of the Star versus the Force of Evil side of Tiki's Universe.
Yeah.
It's the show where we recap and respond to a whole myriad of animated programming, mostly Steven Universe, but also Star versus Force of Evil. So, Jacob, we are back after a brief hiatus from Star. Feels good to be back. I feel like this episode is, just kind of a fun breeze of an episode. It's got some fun commentary going on. The return of Ponyhead. First time we've seen Ponyhead in season 2. She's always a fun character. The next episode after this, by the book, is obviously one that we're going to spend a little bit more time on. But Jacob, overall thoughts on this episode? Goblin Dogs?
When I first heard that this is the episode that are going to come back with after a hiatus, I was like, wait, what? Then I watched it, I was like, I mean, don't get me wrong, I like this episode and all. I'm just saying, like, wait, they're just standing in line for a hot dog.
You know what? This episode kind of, it does have some of that Wander Over Yonder. I am going to compare it to Wander Over Yonder quite a bit because it's a very simple scenario, but kind of like up to the extreme. And it's also got kind of like the drug trip induced ending.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
So overall, I would say this episode is not bad. It's certainly got some fun qualities to it. I really like I honestly think probably the best part of the episode is Ponyhead's dynamic with Marco. It's really cool to see them being kind of a little bit more buddy-buddy with each other, although there's still a little bit of like playful antagonism between the two of them. So Ponyhead is probably my favorite part of the episode. But other than that, I mean, I like the general concept, Jacob. I just think, I don't know, it's not one of the stronger season 2 episodes.
Yeah, I don't think it's meant to be. I mean, I was like, this episode screams filler.
Yeah, which is unfortunate because when Ponyhead's involved, a lot of the time we get a lot of good plot development out of it, like the School for Wayward Princesses episode and stuff like that.
Well, remember her
first. Jacob, we do get that development from the Wayward Princesses school that it's basically turned into a party school, which is interesting.
Yeah, that'd be a sight. But remember, the first episode of Ponyhead was just her, partying with Star, so...
That's true, but it was very early in the series, and I feel like it kind of gave us a really good grasp on the Star and Marco dynamic, though.
Maybe.
Anyways.
Yeah, this definitely had its fair share of good moments.
I mean, I do like the absurdity of the lines because Jacob, you've been to Disney, I've been to Disney. There's lines everywhere, and I feel like this is kind of like a playful rib on the whole concept. Like, okay, let me lay out the elaborate scenario that you would have to go through to get into the Frozen show at California Adventure, Jacob. You have to be there before park opening, like a half hour before park opening at rope drop. You have to stand in a giant line to get a fast pass. After you stand in said giant line, you have to stand in another giant line, a fast pass line. When it's time to actually get the show, you have to go like an hour early, even with the fast pass. And then you get into the theater and you have to wait another half hour after that. So I really do feel like, to a certain extent, especially it is Disney, I feel like, because it's no secret that Disneyland lines and Disney World lines get a little long. I don't know. What do you think of that, Jacob?
Probably. I think it's more like waiting in lines in general, not just necessarily them.
And then, of course, Disneyland, the thing I've experienced is the Dole Whip line at Tiki Room has gotten absolutely out of control.
I know the whole very interested in buying merchandise line is definitely
right.
And that's definitely a jab at like parks who like pay extra, like where you can pay extra to cut in line, basically. I think that's basically a jab.
You don't get the free shit attached to it, though.
What?
Usually you don't get the free shit attached to it. You just have to pay extra.
Well, Marco paid $650.
You're right. So, hey, he should get some swag with that, and he did. But what do you think, Jacob? Is it good merch that Marco bought?
It is banging.
It's banging. The merchandise is totally banging.
Yeah. But like I said, I believe that.
Yeah, I would get the hot dog finger pointer. That's about, or maybe the hat too. I would wear the hat. I would kind of rock that hat.
Yep. And I said, I believe that's like a subtle jab at like parks where you can like pay extra to get in to cut in line.
Sure. And it's also probably a jab at kind of like these promotional things. Like I know Six Flags has like, oh, if you use a Discover card, you get a VIP area. You know what I mean? Stuff like that. Stuff like that.
Yep.
But yeah, overall, Jacob, there's really not a lot to talk about with this episode. What did you think of the Roy character and his whole scheme?
Like it wasn't like what was the point of all that anyway? Other than,
I mean, it's like he goes through this giant rigmarole of like, oh, there's actually no goblin dog all along. The whole point is, patience or whatnot. And then turns out the goblin dogs are real and they're just microwave hot dogs, but they're
the hot dog. Remember, the hot dog chooses you.
These are not goblin dogs. He puts them in the microwave for like 20 seconds. These are goblin dogs.
And then after a while, like he says like, no, how do drug trip.
Oh my god. Yeah. Yeah, Jacob, I don't know. The more we talk about this episode, it's like it had a good starting point with the idea of the waiting in line thing, but I just don't think it executed it very well. I would have to say this is definitely among the weaker episodes of season 2, pretty easily.
Yeah, probably. I just can't believe they got away with the drug trip.
Yeah, the drug trip is pretty insane, right? I mean, it is right up there with the box for me.
Oh, that was definitely. I was like, wait, what am I watching?
Okay, Jacob. So
props to the animators, by the way, for that.
Oh, absolutely. What do you think of? Let's just kind of quickly go over. What do you think of the whole Kelly and Roy thing?
Yeah. What was it? Yeah, Kelly didn't talk.
Kelly didn't talk for like half the episode, and you think she's like some cousin it type creature? At least
no, she didn't talk. She didn't talk until the very end.
Right. And then Roy, or no, I'm sorry, not Roy.
Her boyfriend. I don't think he has a name. I don't know if her boyfriend has.
I think he does have a name. Hold on, I'm looking it up.
I don't know.
Tad. Her boyfriend's Tad. Hey, what's up? My name's Tad. Yeah, I don't usually like hot dogs. I'm a vegan, but I do like hanging. I like hanging out. Whatever.
Yeah.
So I don't know. That was kind of a fun punchline. I honestly think both these episodes kind of begin and end very abruptly. What do you think of that? Like this episode just starts with Star, Butterfly, Marco just staring, like out into the distance, and we don't know what they're staring at, and then it ends with the whole thing with Tad, like, I like hanging out, yeah. And then we'll get into the starts and ends of the next episode. What do you think, Jacob? Is that kind of a reoccurring thing?
Yeah, probably.
All right. So any final thoughts on this, Jacob? I think this is kind of like a record for one of the fastest vlogs we've done, but there's just not a whole hell of a lot to go over with this. It's pretty damn simple.
Yep, waiting in line for a hot dog.
Right? That's it, folks. That's literally it. It's like, like I said, I am very interested in seeing St. Olga's Reform School as a party school, Jacob. I'm excited when we do get that location. I think that's going to be
I want to see Miss Heinous again.
Right. And I think the idea that the Wayward Princess School was such a terrifying element of season 1, and now that's kind of flipped on its head. That was honestly like, it was a small detail of the episode, but it's something that I kind of latched onto.
Yeah, but and remember, Miss Heinous said she swore vengeance, and the season's almost halfway over. We haven't even seen her yet.
Well, okay, I don't even to me, she can kind of wait until season 3. What I'm looking for is where the hell is Toffee?
Well, remember, Ludo's been carrying a part of him the whole time.
That's true.
He might have been with us. He might be with us the entire time.
We'll see. All right, Jacob. Well, yeah, just overall, it's a fun episode. It's kind of a light bit of comic relief before we get into some of the
one of the better filler episodes, I'll put it.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. All right. So, Jacob, thank you for joining me, and we will get right on to the next one, By the Book, which is way, way more plot heavy, folks. So.
It features the return of the prodigal son.
You know who I'm talking about? Ludo?
Your prodigal son is Glossaric. I mean, you would like every time we see a new episode, he's like you complain like it didn't have Glossaric.
Okay, well, you know what, Jacob? That is a con that this episode in particular did not have Glossaric in it.
The next one does.
The next one cements Glossaric as my absolute favorite character. I'll just say that much. All right, Jacob, so let's wind it down. Thank you for watching, folks, and see y'all in the next one. Yeah.
Bye.
Dip down.